Hey everyone, it's Slayer here. Tim, I'm going to be talking about the banned and restricted list update from today, the 10th of August, 2026. And standard Badgermole Cub, Stormchaser's Talent, Gran-Gran were banned. No changes to Popper, Pioneer, or Modern. Fantasticar banned in Legacy, Restricted, and Vintage. Anyways, the big thing is with standard, we've known for a few months that the green-based Badgermole Cub decks and the Is It spell decks of different flavors have been the best decks in the format. They do acknowledge it was discernible but not insurmountable, and many decks could find success each weekend. I mean, like four color control decks, various Azorius tempo decks, and then harder to discard with decks that kind of came up. They do also acknowledge that the green based Cub decks fall from Ouroboros decks to Nature's Rhythm decks to landfall strategies, and then the Izza decks were prowess, lessons, and spellmentals. This prowess decks did have a lot of variety among them as well. And then the deck that kind of got them worried was Selesnya Offense, which is I think they were saying put up a 57% win rate, which seems really high, especially when they're comparing arena results. And there wasn't really too much high level playing standard, but it did have them comparing it to Vivi Cauldron decks. And that deck wasn't fun to play against either. And like, yeah, I think everybody knew if there was a card to ban in green decks, it had to have been the Badgermole Cub. As much as it sucks to ban the expensive card from the decks, I think it is something that needed to happen. And then with Is It, I mean, Storm Chaser's Talent's been out for about 2 years now, and it's been really good almost ever since it's been out. It's really good in the Esper Pixie decks. It was really good in the Is It Prowess decks when Corey Steelcutter and This Town Ain't Big Enough got banned. So yeah, it's been one of the better cards since it came out. And it's just Is It Prowess is fast and aggressive. It's one of the keystone cards in the deck. It's just people hated that deck for a while. And they think like banning talent will slow the deck down, make it easier to overcome in the late game. I mean, yeah, no, there's been several games I've been playing like Izzet decks where I've just cast a bunch of nonsense spells with a talent on 6 and just gotten a bunch of otters. It's really good. And then Gran-Gran is the last card that got banned. It's been a cornerstone of the format ever since it came out as well. Initially, it was an artist talent and then that Monument to Endurance deck. But then eventually it just became this. That eventually with Jeskai deck that wanted to power out Jeskai Revelation with Wangaren's cost reduction and then Tableau Discovery. I mean, Tableau Discovery and Jeskai Revelation was also in the 4-color deck as well, but that deck's a lot slower. And then Gran-Gran is also just a powerful mana engine, similar to Badgermole Cub. Both are from Avatar, I guess, too. But anyways, yeah, in my opinion, because it is standard RCQ season coming up like any time now, very soon. And rotation doesn't happen for another 5 months because this is the first time that rotation will happen in January versus the fall. Like it's almost always been ever since, at least as long as I've been playing Magic. I think they just needed to do something to make standard more interesting, and rather than the same old. So per I think all are reasonable bands. I think I still would have liked to have seen Jessica Revelation or Tableau Discovery get banned, but I mean Gran-Gran's still reasonable. Still, it's a really good mana engine. And with Pioneer, they do acknowledge it's still been a quiet format, mostly because it's not really like a competitive format. So I guess you can play it online, but it's not like an RCQ format. It's not an RC format yet. Again, and maybe they will next year. And then they do acknowledge there's been a lot of various green Badgermole Club decks, but since the banning of Corey Steelcutter, is it decks have diverged from slower Lessons decks to low to the ground prowess decks, and they play differently enough that they're not really concerned about the deck warping around them. So anyways, here's the prowess list. Again, I mean, some Stormchaser's Talent Spell is fine in Pioneer. And then is it Lessons with Vivi, and then Gran-Gran. And Stormchaser Town again, I guess. And then here's a Golgari deck with Cub in it. Doesn't seem too broken. And I don't know why they brought up Sim Escape Shift here, but it's well, I guess the Badgermole Cub deck too. Yeah, it's I mean the Badgermole Cubs are always different enough in Pioneer. I don't see it being an issue. They let's see. I mean, I can see them just being fine with leaving Pioneer alone because it's not. There's no real reason to play it. There's probably not too much innovation going on in it right now. I mean, I could be wrong, but then modern. You just had a modern Pro Tour about a month ago, not even. It's we got the Eldrazi Trudge deck with Slumbering Trudge here. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like another 5 rating deck. It's interesting. But I think they said they were not too worried about the win rates, but Neoform, a few pilots did well with it, but overall the win rate did drop, but they are paying close attention to it still. Paying very close attention, they said. I mean, deck is really good, but I don't know. And they said, yeah, they do acknowledge that Neoform has fallen in and out of favor, but I don't know. I think it's probably. I mean, they don't really talk too much about the Fantasticar ban or restriction in Legacy and Vintage respectively. But I mean, I haven't watched the format too much, but I mean, I guess I have a bit lately. I haven't watched the two formats a lot. It just seems like heinous the play lines with Fantasticar. And then with Popper, I don't. I mean, I've started paying a bit more attention to it lately. But yeah, they're watching the sneaky stack. That card's just really consistent. I mean, I'm not too worried about it. And then Bonner's Ornament, the trial on band seems reasonable. But anyways, that's my thoughts. I think standard they definitely need to do something. They couldn't just watch it be a miserable format to play with like all the Izzet decks and whatnot. But let's see. Tell me your thoughts on the ban and restrict list update we got this today.